What if I told you that hidden deep in the annals of history lies a story so extraordinary, so unexpected that it almost defies belief? Well, imagine an aging European empress, once the most powerful woman in France, embarking on an adventurous voyage to a tropical island far from the grandeur of European courts. An empress who, despite being 81 years old, braved the unknown in search of solace, beauty, and perhaps a final glimpse of happiness. This is the tale of Her Imperial Majesty, Empress Eugénie of France, the first and only French, if not European empress, to set foot on Lankan soil. Her journey to Ceylon, now Sri Lanka, was unlike any other. 7 weeks of grandeur, intrigue, and breathtaking landscapes awaited her. But what drew her to this island? And who was the mysterious figure that painted such an enchanting picture of Ceylon that the former empress simply could not resist? Well, stay tuned as I unravel the fascinating story of Empress Eugenie's visit to Ceylon. Long before she set sail, the seed of this adventure was planted by none other than Sir Thomas Lipton, the man who revolutionized the tea industry and made Ceylon tea a household name across Europe and America. Thomas Lipton, a close confidant of Empress Eugenie, had once described Ceylon, which he visited, in such vivid, intoxicating detail that it captured the imagination of the grief stricken empress. After the abolishment of French monarchy in 1870, for years Eugenie and her family lived in exile in Britain, haunted by loss. Her husband, Napoleon III, France's first president, second emperor, and ultimately its last monarch, had died in 1873. But the tragedy did not end there. In 1879, her only son, Napoleon, Prince Imperial, met his untimely end in the Zulu War in South Africa, aged just 23. Now alone, she sought distraction in travel, frequently visiting her relatives across Europe. In late 1907, the Empress's secretary asked Sir Thomas Lipton to arrange her visit to Ceylon, inspired by his enthusiastic praise of the island. Determined to go, she insisted he handle the arrangements promptly. Ceylon in the late 18th and early 19th centuries was renowned for big game or trophy hunting, and European royals, aristocrats, and squires visited the island mainly to massacre as many elephants, deer, and wild boars. The island was not seen as a place of serene retreat, and yet, for Eugenie, it became just that. She was perhaps the first high profile visitor from Europe to see Ceylon not as a hunter's paradise, but as a sanctuary of peace and natural beauty. On January 8, 1908, just before embarking on her journey, Empress Eugenie dined at Buckingham Palace with King Edward VII and Queen Alexandra. One can only imagine their reaction when she revealed her plans to travel to the distant, exotic colony of Ceylon, which was visited by King Edward VII when he was the Prince of Wales in 1875. The following day, she set out from Britain to Marseille in southern France, where she boarded the British liner Moulton. When she finally arrived in Colombo, she was welcomed with great pomp and pageantry. The British governor, Sir Henry Edward Macallum, had prepared a regal reception fit for an empress. Her sojourn in Ceylon was marked by grandeur, and her accommodation was no exception. She stayed at the legendary Golfes Hotel, one of the oldest and most prestigious establishments east of the Suez. In a fascinating twist of history, the very Suez Canal she had helped inaugurate in 1869 as France's representative now linked Europe to the distant island she had long dreamed of visiting. During her stay, the Empress and her royal entourage, which included a lady-in-waiting, Miss Vaughan, and Count Clary, occupied 11 rooms on the first floor, while her servants were accommodated in 4 additional rooms. Her principal suite, situated above the entrance porch and veranda, still known as the Empress Suite, a lasting tribute to her time in Colombo. During her stay in Colombo, the Empress attended grand receptions and ceremonies, including a lavish gathering at the Queen's house, the official residence of the governor. She was introduced to Ceylonese and British officials, dined to the melodies of the Madras Infantry Regiment, and even visited Mount Lavinia Hotel, then a favorite retreat of the British elite. but the Empress was eager for more. Empress Eugénie longed to see the legendary city of Kandy, home to Ceylon's most sacred relic, the Buddha's tooth. Her journey to the hill capital was nothing short of majestic, as she travelled aboard the luxurious Gardener's coach. However, upon her arrival, an unexpected twist awaited her. The government agent of Kandy was away, leaving the responsibility of hosting the French Empress to none other than Leonard Woolf, then a young British civil servant later famed as the author of The Village in the Jungle and husband to modernist writer Virginia Woolf. Leonard Woolf, taken aback by the sudden responsibility, met the Empress at the station and escorted her to the king's pavilion, the Gardener's residence in Kandy. Mistaking him for the actual government agent, Eugénie invited Woolf for tea. Despite his initial reservations, he found her lively, engaging, and curious. She peppered him with endless questions, so many that she hardly waited for answers. Her visit took an even more intriguing turn when Count Clary, one of her entourage, requested a private viewing of the sacred Buddha's tooth relic. Normally, this would have required the consent of both the Devadaranilame, chief custodian of the temple, and the government agent. But Woolf, ever resourceful, arranged for a special visit with the help of the colonial secretary, Sir Hugh Clifford. The viewing was a success, and the Empress left Kandy deeply moved by the experience. In fact, Woolf's efficient handling of her visit so impressed Clifford that within months he was promoted to assistant government agent of Hambantota, a meteoric rise through the ranks. Beyond Kandy, the former Empress of France explored the famed Peradeniya Royal Botanical Gardens, marveled at Ceylon's breathtaking landscapes, and even witnessed an unusual spectacle: an unexpected brawl between a dog and a chicken in the middle of the road leading to Peradeniya. Curious, she asked Woolf if such fights were common in Ceylon. His bemused response was, well, no. As her time on the island drew to a close, Empress Eugénie reflected on her journey. One of the most delightful holidays I have ever spent, she later wrote in her diary. 7 weeks in paradise had given her a sense of peace she had not known in years. In July 1920, at the age of 94, Empress Eugénie passed away while visiting her relatives in Spain, where she was born into one of the grandest aristocratic families. She was laid to rest in the imperial crypt at St. Michael's Abbey in Flandre, alongside her beloved husband and son. Even in death, she remained a figure of fascination. King George V himself attended her requiem. Her remarkable journey to Ceylon remains a largely untold and forgotten chapter in history, a reminder of a time when an empress sought solace in an island of beauty and tranquility. If this story has ignited your curiosity, please dive deeper into her legacy by exploring the sources and recommended readings in the description below. For any inquiries, you can reach me at tuanzamirwrites@gmail.com. Until next time, this is me, Zamir Karim, signing off, uncovering history one story at a time. Take care and God bless you all.